Hello and welcome to today's tutorial on data entry process of a fourth remaining information module for school data entry. Usually, this incorporates grants and assistances, vocational and photo albums modules. In order to begin the data entry process, open your preferred browser. It can be Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox. In my case, it is Mozilla Firefox. So once I click on it, head towards the top bar URL section and enter the website. The URL of the EMMIS website, that is emmis.sikkimedutech.in, and click on search. So once you click on it, the landing page of EMMIS shall open up, as you can see on the screen, wherein you will find 4 menus on the top bar section, which includes Home, School, GIS, and Login. Alongside, you'll also find the badging of EMMIS, which stands for Education Management and Monitoring System. We have the Get Started button out here, About section of the web portal, that is for the EMMIS, and some data regarding number of schools, employees, and students registered into the portal. So in order to begin our data entry process, you'll have to log into the portal. So you can either log in by clicking the button, or you can click on Get Started. So I'll be clicking on Get Started. The login page of EMMIS system shall open up, wherein you'll have to enter your username, password, and captcha to log in. However, if you do not have your username, password, or if you haven't registered into the EMMIS portal, you can get the information or get the tutorial on how to register your school first by clicking on this Getting Started manual, or you can refer to the previous tutorials, that is the tutorial on the registration of your school and school users into the EMMIS application. So considering that you have already registered into the EMMIS application and you have your username, so what is your username? Your username is basically your email that is registered into the EMMIS portal. Since we have 2 users per school, school admin and school data entry operator, for this tutorial, we are considering the school data entry operator. So the email of the data entry operator, which was registered into the EMMIS portal, is being entered as you can see on the screen, following it with the password. You can access the password, that is basically the default password that had been sent along with the verification mail. If you haven't changed the default password, you can change it by following the on-screen instructions. However, if you have changed your password, you will have to enter the new password that you have created, so enter either of which applies. Once entered, enter the captcha code. You can find it on the left-hand side, so simply type it below in the box space provided. However, make sure you don't insert any spaces between each of the letters. Once you enter all your credentials in the login page, click on Sign In. Once signed in, you will be redirected to your concerned school page, School Dashboard, where you will find the name of your school in the top bar section. We have Test School Sikkim. Below that, you have the data entry overview, and on the right-hand side, you will find who has been currently logged in to the system. For example, currently, we are logged in as the school operator, as you can see on the screen, and below on the data overview, you'll have the information which you've already configured, since in our previous tutorial, we have configured the school information, infrastructure information, and alongside, we have also completed configuring the session information, as you can see on the screen. However, the data sent has not been verified, so in the current tutorials, we will also discuss how the data gets verified by the school admin. Now, since in today's tutorial, we are concerned about the data entry process of a fourth information module, or the Others information module, which usually incorporates grant and assistances. As you can see on the screen, we have Vocational Details and Photo Albums. Since in our previous tutorials, we have discussed that the school information, 91%, we have only configured about 91%, although we've entered all the details and made it clear that it will reach 100% completion only after entering the vocational details. So we will be looking at that scenario as well. So without further ado, Let's directly begin with grants and assistances data entry workflow. So once you click on it, you will be able to view 3-year financial years, which are 2020 to 2021, 2021 to 2022, to 2022 to 2023. Now you can configure the data as per applicable to your school. So we can enter the data for previous year, that is from 2021 to 2022. So first of all, I will be adding the grants for the previous years, that is from 21 to 22. So I can do that by clicking on Add under Grants. So once I click on it, a grants details page for the particular financial year shall open up, where I'll find the details of grants and Samaksha Siksha, receipt in rupees of expenditure. This is usually for previous financial year, so we'll be able to configure all the modules. So composite full grants. What was the grant that was provided on the basis of composite school grant? Configure that for test school Sikkim at 50,000 and expenditure made on the composite school grant was in 2,000. So that's given. So how much library grant was granted to the school? I can provide it as 10,000. And in the expenditure, I can configure as 10,000 as well. Grant for major repairs, so I'll be entering 1 lakh. And what was the expenditure? I can enter that 95,000. Grant for sports and physical education. So considering that we have not received any grants for sports and PE for test school Sikkim, we'll skip this section. Don't do that if your school has received such grants. So same for receipt and the same for expenditure. So once it's saved, my grant shall be added for the particular academic session, that is from 2021 and 2022. Now, although we will be able to see that the red highlight has been made in the grant section of the particular academic session, since it says unverified, which means the data can only be verified by the school admin, so we have submitted the data to the school admin for verification. So only after the verification process, this will appear in green, meaning it's a verified record. Now, similarly, we will be adding the financial assistances for the particular academic session. So in order to do that, you can click on Add under Financial Assistances. Once you click on it, you'll be able to enter the financial assistant details under the financial assistance page. So we have various sources from where the financial assistance can be provided. So we have NGO under the public sector undertaking, we have community and others. So considering that TESCO has received financial assistances from NGOs, we can write the amount. So I'll give the NGO a name, Rotary Club, and the amount as 10,000 rupees. So if you got any sort of financial assistance from PSU community or others, you can enter the details. So in today's tutorial, considering that we've received one financial assistance from NGOs, we can enter that. So now I can click on Save. Once I click on Save, my data shall be entered, and as you can see that the highlight has appeared based on the unverified records, verifications required. So similarly, we can add this for the previous factor of years like 2020 to 2021. We can also add the current year, where we can add the grants as per applicable to your school, so you can do that. So this is all about how we can add grants and assistances for your school in accordance to the particular academic session. As we move to the dashboard, since we don't have the tracking module for grants and assistances, it won't be visible out here. So in order to view, we have to move back to grants and assistances. So now moving to vocational details, as we have mentioned after entering vocational details, the 91% configuration shall be changed to 100%. So let's see that. Click on the vocational details and you will be able to view various modules, sub-modules under vocational courses. We have whether award under the central sponsored scheme of vocalization of secondary education. So you can click on yes or you can click on no and it won't. So you can either click on yes or you can click on no based on the applicability of the module in accordance to your school. So in the second part, what we have, does the school provide any vocational courses? Since we are considering our school to be a secondary school and we will be considering that we have a vocational course in our school, so I can click on yes. Once I click on yes, a drop down shall open where I'll be able to add the vocational subjects and the year of starting sector 1. So I can choose for the sector 1 vocational subject 1. I can choose retail marketing, new vocationals, tourism, IT, TTM, food production, and MSFC. So considering that test school usually has basically two kinds of vocational subjects, which are IT and tourism, so we'll firstly add IT and the year of starting, sector 1, that will be 2019, and we have tourism, that is also for the year 2019. So once you've entered the details for your school, as I have done for test school, enter the vocational details page, and you can similarly add for other vocational subjects if you have more than 2 or even 3 vocational subjects. So once all these data are configured, I can click on save. Once you click save, as I have done, you'll be able to view the vocational details as follows. Sector 1, year of starting. Sector 2, year of starting. We can also add vocational training providers. Who are the providers of vocational training? So we can add that. For example, if I add new VTP, that basically stands for Vocational Skill Training Providers, I'll be able to add Agency A. Trade for which VTP is provided. So you can provide any trade certification, accreditation number of that particular agency, and name of the certification, accreditation number. For now, we are just considering vocation certificate or vocational. So you can write the details. You can enter the details as per the applicability of the agency who is providing the TPT. So once I click on save, the data will be configured here, right? However, since it's an unverified record, so verification is required to process the data. And we can also write the vocational session related information, wherein I can add the class conducted details and classroom placement details. So in order to add that, you can click on add under class conducting details. You can add the details as follows: for how many theoretical hours were conducted, how many practical hours were conducted for each and every class, like class 9, class 10, class 11, and class 12. So you can add that. So once you add that, you can click on save. So for today's tutorial, we are not considering adding the class conductor details, and you can also add class placement details, wherein you will be able to add the placement report for each and every classes. So you can also do that. So we'll be covering this in the later tutorials. Moving back to details, we can add the faculty, test faculty, skill training providers, teachers, resource persons, vocational training that is being provided in the school. So in order to add faculty, click on add faculty. So once you click on it, I will be able to add the name. So let's add the name, Teacher A. Gender male. Date of birth, I can add the date of birth. Social category, I can add any category that is applicable to the teacher. Nature of appointment, contract, academic. You can choose any of the following based on the academic qualification of the teacher that is provided training in the school. Certificate course in concerned vocational sector, so you can choose any one of the above. Industry experience, training experience, how many classes has been taught by every teacher. Sector for which appointed, the teacher has been appointed, so we are configuring the data for IT teacher. Receipt, whether the teacher has received induction training or not. Received in-service training in academic year. So we will be considering both yes for this tutorial. So once I enter all these details, I can click on save, and once I click on save, the details for vocational teachers shall be recorded. Now once it is recorded, it shall be sent to the school admin for the verification process. Now, as we said, after entering the vocational details, our school information shall be configured 100%, which has been configured, as you can see on the screen. So we have covered all the modules: school information 100%, infrastructure information 100%, session 100%, and we have also done this for vocational details. So we have added vocational details. Now for the tutorial, we have moved to our last module of configuration, that is basically the photo album. Now for the photo album, click on photo album and a page shall open up where you can select, choose, or add new photo album. Since we have not configured any photo album earlier, so there are no records found. It shows on the screen we have no records available. So in order to add new photo albums, I'll be choosing new photo album, clicking on add new. So first of all, I'll be required to add my album description. So what is the album about? I'll be just entering the album description. You can enter the description as per the event program that is being held in your school. So once I click on save, now I'll be able to add new photos in that particular album. So how to do that? I will be clicking on this manage button. Once I click on manage, I can add photos in regards to this health program in school. Now, I'll be clicking on new photo and select upload photo. Once I click on upload photo, I can choose the photo from my file, so I'll be just adding this image. So you can crop the image and click on done. The photo will appear here, and you can also add the caption. Then you can write the caption for the photo. So you've done that, and you can also make this photo as the album cover of health program in school. So you can do that by clicking on this make album cover. So once you click on save, what happens, the photo will be saved for the health programs in our school. Now as we move towards photo album module, we get to find that we have one photo album that has been created for the school health program in school. So we can also add another photo album by clicking on add new album. So now we'll add numeral date of the school, so annual day of the school as photo album description, and as I click on save, a new album has been created for the school. In order to add the photos in the annual day of the school, I'll be able to do that by clicking on this manage. So once I click on manage, the same process, I can add new photo by clicking on plus, the add new photo sign. Once I click on it, I will be able to upload the photo by clicking on this button. You can browse the photo, open it. We have this photo that you can crop and click on done once it's satisfactory. Your photo will then appear here and you can name it. So I've named it Annual Day Celebration at School, and you can also make this album cover. By clicking on this or checking this box on the left hand side of make the album cover. Once you do that and click on save, your photo album will be configured. So once I click on back to albums, you have configured two photo albums. Since besides manage, you get to find this numerical value out there, it usually denotes how many photos are there in the particular album that you're referring. So we have configured one photo for this album and one photo for this album. So that is how this appears. Therefore, this is the process with which we can configure grants and assistances, vocational details, and photo albums. So if configured, all these modules in this tutorial and the data has been configured and is sent to the concerned school admin of the school for the verification process. Hope this tutorial was helpful to the viewers who watched to find assistance to use the EMMIS website. In the next tutorial, we will be understanding the process and steps involved in registering employees, which includes both the teaching and non-teaching staff with the concerned school. So we will be discussing all the modules regarding employees and students registration in the upcoming tutorials. Until then, you can refer to other videos if you're finding it difficult to register. If you're finding it difficult to keep up, we have other modules. So if you have not registered your school, you can also refer to the previous tutorials. I hope this was helpful. See you in the next tutorial. Thank you so much.